All right. Now, how does this boldness manifest? And we're going to look at a Psalm of David to see how this boldness manifests in his life. We're going to look at 2 Samuel chapter 22 very soon. 2 Samuel chapter 22 verses 1 and 2 and then verse 30. But 2 Samuel chapter 22, it's also Psalm 18. So when you read Psalm 18 compared to 2 Samuel 22, you'll find that they are similar because it's the same thing. Now, in 2 Samuel, it is told us in a story form, and in Psalm 18, we get it more as a psalm. But it's a psalm of David. And it says from verse 1, 2 Samuel 22, verse 1 and 2, "Then David spoke to the Lord the words of this song on the day when the Lord had delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. And he said, the Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer." And then verse 30, which is where I'm going. Verse 30 of the same 2 Samuel chapter 22. "For by you I can run against a troop. By my God, I can leap over a wall." This is how David's boldness is manifested. He says, by you I can run against a troop. By my God, I can leap over walls. When we step out in boldness, we can break through all barriers, run against a troop. Run against a troop. The word troop here in the Old Testament comes from a root word that has several meanings, but two of them are very important to us. A troop normally in the days of David is a raiding band. You know, in the days of David, it was survival of the fittest most of the time. So there were people who would put together themselves as a band, and they were called a troop. And normally they go out and attack people. And sometimes they go to a village and raid the village and take out all its properties. Sometimes they will come to a farm and take up your farm produce. And normally when a troop shows up, people run. It's very similar to what we have, not the same, but similar to when you are in the streets of Accra and you hear Abaye. And when you hear that, most of the time, people don't even ask who is coming. You just hear, they are coming. And then you pack all your things and run. So in the days of David, there were hooligans most of the time, hooligans who went out and they can come to your farm, take your farm from you, come to your village, take everything from you, seize your wife, seize your children, and hold them as kidnapping targets for you to come and ransom. And every time a troop comes up, people run. If you read the Bible, you'll find that many times a troop comes up and people run. Whether it's a troop of Amalekites or Midianites or some other troop, when they come up, people run. But David said, because of the boldness of God that I have, when a troop shows up and everybody is going the opposite direction, I go running against the troop. In other words, I don't run from the battle, I run into battle. So he says, by my God, I run against a troop. I run towards the troop. When everybody is going the other way, I go the opposite direction. Everybody is quiet because they are afraid. I stand up and speak. Everybody is shying away from trouble. I stand up and take on the challenge. David says, by my God, I can run against a troop. One of the signs of God's boldness in your life is that you are able to run against a troop. Christianity is not about following the crowd. Christianity is not about majority. Christianity is not just being with the majority. Many times in Christianity, you are the minority. Jesus says the way is narrow, the gate is narrow. The Christian life is not about popularity and mass appeal. Most of the time, it is going against the troop. It is being at a party when everybody is drinking alcohol and you say, by my God, I go against the troop. I'm not going to drink. And people say, but everybody drinks, everybody is serving beer. You say, I won't beer. Because I'm bold, I stand for my convictions. I am strong. Because many times Christians crumble with popular opinion. Everybody is doing it. Everybody is wearing it. Everybody is saying it. If you don't say it, you're not popular. If you don't say it, you're not in the crowd. Who said we're supposed to be in the crowd? We're supposed to go against the troop. And it's the boldness of God that makes us able to stand and be unique and special. We are children of God. It's like Mordecai at the gates of Persia. Haman comes and everybody bows and Mordecai stands. That's boldness. In a country where everybody is bowing, you're standing. And they ask him, why don't you bow? He says, I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew. We only bow to God. We don't bow to people. I'm a Jew. It's like the 3 Hebrew children who saw the image of Nebuchadnezzar and they said, we're not bowing. Everybody bows. We're not bowing. It takes boldness to determine not to bow when everybody is bowing. And that's what David is talking about. He says, by my God, I go in the opposite direction when everybody is running from a troop. I confront the troop. I go against the troop. The troop doesn't only talk about a raiding band, but interestingly, the troop also describes the trench that armies build around themselves. One of the strategies of battle in the days of David is that when an army has camped and they wanted to defend themselves, they will dig a trench around, a deep trench, gutter around it themselves. So when you want to attack them and you see the trench, you stop, because for you to come against them, you have to go down the trench. And when you go down the trench, you are an easy target for arrows. So when people see a trench, they stop. A trench is also called a troop. And David says, by my God, I ran through a troop. In other words, when people say that this is a place nobody can survive, I go in there and I survive because I have the boldness of God to go against the troop. Listen, life can sometimes be a very dangerous expedition. And if you just want to dwell in safety, you don't like trouble, you don't like to do anything great, you will live life, but you will not be happy with the outcome. Because trouble will not trouble you, and you will not trouble trouble. You will end up having accumulated years, but achieving very little. Because to achieve something, most of the time, you're going to go against a trench. You're going to go against a system that has been designed so you cannot survive. But by my God, I run through a troop. Whether it's a raiding band or it's a trench, by my God, I go against it. And that's what David says. We can break through all barriers. And then he says, by my God, I can leap over a wall. I can rise above all limitations. The idea here is that of a deer that springs high. A springbok deer. It just jumps, boom, and it jumps over a wall. And then David says, by my God, I can spring over walls. I can leap over walls. Whatever the walls are, we can rise above them. We can rise above the walls of racism. We can rise above the walls of segregation, the walls of inferiority, the walls of poverty. Because one of the challenges every black person deals with is racism. It's inferiority complex. And many times, even when you can do mighty things, you see people and their skin color, and sometimes you feel you cannot achieve much. But David says, by my God, I can rise above the wall. Whatever society has erected against you, you can rise above it. If you are a woman, you can rise above every limitation imposed on womanhood. For you to know that your survival and your quality of life is not dependent on a man. You cannot say, as for me, I want to marry a rich man. Then you are by inference saying, I cannot be rich by myself. Why do you want to marry a rich man? What do you want? As if the man doesn't have money, me, I don't have time for him, I don't have time for him. But you have time for yourself. Your broke self, you have time for your broke self. No. It's okay. I mean, sometimes, watch African movies and sometimes it's so demeaning, the kind of narratives we have in our movies, like a woman is struggling in life, and then a rich man is driving by his car, stops, and then he says, I will buy your ex for you, and then one Lisa, and then he marries the man, and then her life changes. I said, what kind of nonsense is that? What kind of nonsense is that? Are you trying to tell me that without a benevolent man, a woman cannot be successful? That's African nonsense. Please don't buy into that. Listen to me, women. By your God. By your God. By your God. You can rise above limitations. You can succeed by yourself. You can buy your car by yourself. You can buy your iPhone 15 by yourself. You can own your house by yourself. You can own your business by yourself. You can employ people by yourself. Then you can look for a broke man and marry him. Somebody say, by my God. By my God. By my God. By my God. No matter what life hands to me, I beat my chest. I beat my chest. And I say, by my God. By my God. I will not die in this battle. I will not die on this battlefield. By my God. I will face that Goliath. By my God. I will run against a troop. Somebody say, by my God. And that's how David is telling us boldness works. That God makes us bold. You may be quiet, but inside you there must be a volcanic power that is rising and bubbling. Everybody looks at you and say, oh, he's nothing. He can't do anything. But there is a volcano inside of you. Something inside of you say, by my God, I can go against the troop. By my God, I can leap over walls. By my God, I will not be limited. By my God, I will rise above the limitation. By my God. This kind of boldness is not timid. Is not shy. This kind of boldness makes you take on big challenges. This kind of boldness is not seeking for popularity and acceptance. This kind of boldness is not waiting for friends on Facebook. If you are fickle and you have a low self-esteem, you cannot be this kind of bold. So David says, in my moment of trouble, I cried to God. And all he did was he made me bold with strength in my soul. And then he says, now go and fix the problem. He made me bold with strength in my soul. I pray that God will make you bold with strength in your soul. Whatever troop is coming against you, don't lie down and cry and let it crush you. Don't sit down and let the trouble come and destroy you. You say that God, make me bold with strength. And that's what we want to pray for today. We want to pray for the spirit of boldness. The spirit of boldness. Are you ready to pray? I want you to cry to God as David said. Don't cry and say, Lord, solve this problem for me. Just say, Lord, make me bold with strength in my soul. Lord, make me bold. I'm going to take on this challenge and I'm going to beat it. I'm going to climb that mountain. I'm going to take on that troop and I'm going to beat it. Lord, all I ask is make me bold with strength in my soul. Let's talk to God. Talk to him. In the name of Jesus, receive strength, receive enablement, receive capacity, receive ability, receive the quickening of the spirit, receive spiritual empowerment, spiritual endowment. The challenge is big. The problem is deep. But you will overcome. You will not just sit around and cry. You will not just sit around and moan. You will not just sit around and wait for destruction. You say, I'm going to face this. I'm going to overcome this. I beat my chest and I'm going to fight and I'm going to win because the Lord makes me bold. Help me, Lord, by your spirit to be bold. In the name of Jesus, I pray for everyone here. May the spirit of boldness rest upon you. May the Lord make you bold with strength in your soul, in your inner man, in your soul, in your mind, in your heart, in your emotions, in your thoughts. May the Lord wrap his spirit of boldness around